I'm Tom Hartman, and I built this signal group because I know what it's like to trade in the dark. Second guessing every move, chasing unreliable calls, getting burned by noise. I wanted something better, so I created it. What I offer here are advanced signals backed by premium indicators I've crafted from years of hands-on experience. These aren't cookie-cutter tools. They're grounded in multi-timeframe logic, tuned for cross-asset trading and built to handle real-world conditions, not just backtests. But here's where it gets serious. The system is designed to handle up to 50x leverage. Yeah, 50x. That's not common, and honestly, it's not for everyone. But if you know what you're doing, it gives you power most traders only dream of. It's predictive, reliable, and completely free. No catch, no upsell. I'm not here to sell hype. I'm here to give serious traders something they can actually use. This is the system I wish I had starting out. Now it's yours.
And the Lord of liquidity saith, the land is awash with unbelievers, seeking the riches without sacrifice. And he sent down a drawdown across the land to suss out the faithless, for the plains of gains belong not to them, nor would they ever. All that and more in today's Sacred Prophet.
The year is 2020. As the old financial empires collapsed and crypto drowned in noise and false prophets, one man lost everything, and in that loss, he was called. Through the wreckage of his own failure and the precision of his charts, a higher force revealed what others could not see and entrusted him with a mission to guide others through the chaos he barely survived. They call him Sacred Prophet. And now, the revelation is yours to claim.
Very epic start there, Tom.
Well, welcome everyone to Sunday Fuel. I'm one of your hosts, Sacred Prophet, alongside Aaron and Trainin, Peter Bad Guru Hartman. Today's a sad day for some people. There's a weight on them that they don't know what to do with. Some are saying, hey, Tom, what happened to 150,000 Bitcoin? What's going on? Well, what I found was that I went up to the mountaintop to fetch the information, the way forward from the Lord of liquidity. And when I came back, I saw that people were frolicking, making merry, without the proper sacrifices, without the leverage that shows that you believe. And what do we get in return? Devastation. Now, am I saying that Iran was bombed specifically because you weren't 50x long leverage in Bitcoin? Am I making that claim? Yes. Everyone needs to be levered long Bitcoin. Okay? Everyone needs to be levered long.
You underestimate my power.
Understand that true believers get in at the levels that they need to get into in order to ride long. And if you get liquidated, what do you do, Peter, if you get liquidated?
I'll go more in.
You go more in at the new levels. We go more in at the new levels. Peter, look, war is not something to make light of. But if there's going to be a war and you can profit from it, it's your sacred duty as a citizen of the Holy Global Empire to do so.
Well, I'm not profiting from it right now. I was promised 150 by the Lord of Liquidity. Now we're sub 100. All right, sub 100. That 100 is a psychological level. Now we're sub that psychological level, and I am unsubbing from you.
I understand. And it's people like you that need to be washed out. The unbelievers, the faithless. We've been taking a look at the liquidity charts, the liquidation levels for weeks now.
Mhm.
Did we ever see a point here where the longs were even close to even with the shorts?
Yeah.
No, because we can see the true conviction that lies within the longs, the chosen people. It's not happening, right? We're not going to get to the highs, to the peaks, unless the bulls come in and liquidate all the shorts, liquidate
Everyone!
Until that happens, we're not getting to the promised lands. All right? Everyone's looking to the left and looking to the right and waiting for them, that person, to go ahead, levered long, 50x leverage, just start juicing it. Let's go. But have you looked in the mirror for yourself and said, hey, am I doing my part? Am I adding to Bitcoin day in and day out? Am I remortgaging my home and selling my organs?
No,
and getting rid of all my assets?
No, none of this moves Bitcoin.
It's an act of sacrifice. Fine, your last $1,000 won't be the thing that makes Bitcoin go to $100 million. But other people see that in aggregate, and it could actually move things. The smallest pebble can move things.
No,
You can be the Frodo.
no, just admit it. Just admit it. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. The Lord of liquidity is wrong. Bitcoin, it's over for Bitcoin. It's the bottom of the. We're out of it. We're in the bear market now, and that's it.
All right, you
Has incurred the sentence of excommunication.
You're out. Get him out. Get him out of here. You're excommunicated. Ridiculous.
I'm
Ridiculous.
excommunicated.
Wrong?
Yeah.
No, Peter, what we've been waiting for, and we'll talk more about the target levels at the end of this broadcast. But what we've been waiting for is a pullback. I've been talking about for weeks now that the price has not pulled back to any levels that I felt comfortable with. Right? Have I been calling for getting long other than the poly market bet? YOLO in, which I say, hey, we're going to be doing that month by month by month by month. And if it drops by more. Other than that, have I been telling people to go long? Have I tweeted it out? Have I been saying it on the show? Have I said it?
That's true. You were saying it's going to go, but the last one, 150.
We speak in terms of probability. The Lord of liquidity works through multiple different dimensions. I am just his lonely servant, sacred prophet. And I can only work in this dimension. Other sacred prophets in other dimensions are having different results.
Are they also getting things wrong in other dimensions?
There's nothing's wrong here, Peter. Nothing's wrong.
Okay, no, okay, I get what you're saying, all right? Yes, for many, many shows, you can go and look back. You were saying, hey, we're going to go down. Why haven't we gone down yet? Something's going to happen that's going to cause us to go down.
Yeah.
I did not realize I was going to be bombing Iran. But
well, if you remember, what I've been saying is that the healthy thing for the Bitcoin price, for any asset, but specifically for Bitcoin, is that we get pullbacks to our levels, that we stair step up. And if we don't, if we skip those levels, just like I've always said, it makes the likelihood that we go down higher and higher and higher, that we get pullbacks. I've been saying this for weeks. I've been saying, because we haven't had to pull back to any levels, I can't tell you guys to get in anywhere. I have not called a single entry since a month ago. I haven't called a single entry.
That's true.
The last major entry I called was down at the $74,000 level. Haven't called any entry since then. I go, hey, we're not in, we're not in, we're not in. That's been right. Why? Because pullbacks like this happen. You cannot, I think we talked about this last week, you cannot guarantee that a black swan event, a particular black swan event will occur. But you can guarantee that a black swan event will occur. So in this timeline, it's Iran. In a different timeline, it's Taiwan. In a different timeline, it's Canada.
Okay.
But the Black Swan event will occur.
So this
Now,
is
the main question. Sorry?
this is good that we're pulling back then. Makes it a healthier rise up.
We don't speak in terms of good or bad. The direction of the liquidity trend is up and to the right, bullish, beyond bullish. That's what it is. And you could have been taking shorts this whole time because we had no levels above us to go to. I just don't like shorting against the flow's
Bullish trend.
liquidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, of liquidity. But the levels were there if you wanted to trade them. They worked very well. In fact, they would have paid off pretty handsomely. We could take a look at that in a second. But I've not been calling. I've been calling for something could happen to cause the price to move up, but also something could have to move the price down. But I've not been calling for people to get in. Now, that being said, good. If you wanted to put a label like that on it, good. Yes, this is great. This is fantastic. Because we've been looking for the Pope of the monetary system to have a reason to cut rates. And we need a crisis for that. We need something to go badly.
I have a sneaking suspicion that this guy is not gonna. He's not playing ball with the administration. He don't want
Not
to cut
yet.
rates. You think he's
Not
gonna
yet.
keep it as long as possible? In
As long
fact,
as
I think he's
possible,
gonna
right?
exit. I think he's gonna exit his job, not having cut rates, and the next guy might
Fine.
do it.
Fine. But if rates are going to get cut at all, chances are it'll be when things get really bad at one of the periods of weaknesses, which will be September, October. Which is why I'm promoting a bet for Polymarket that the Fed will cut interest rates by 50 basis points.
Done with your polymarket bets, bro.
You heard it here you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first, because it's actually what you want. Let me just go pull up what it actually looks like here. Remember, we make money based on volatile events. And if you think volatile events, significant volatile events, is that you and your bros go on a picnic somewhere and it rains a bit, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about serious problems. Now, am I saying don't go out in your political sphere, social sphere, cultural sphere, and do whatever you can in order to help those in need, friends, family, and community, to make a change that you see is worthwhile in the short, medium, and long term? No, go ahead and go do that. That's not what I'm here for, okay? Sacred profit. It's here for profit. It's here for profit. That's what I'm here for. All right, let's take a quick look at the Fed markets here, what the markets are suggesting for the
All right.
Fed.
As the producer here, I want to know the plan. So we're going to be looking at Polymarket, then previous week, then upcoming week?
No, I want to talk about the previous week and upcoming week stuff. Well, I'm going to do previous week in a second. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's the current situation, what's the current setup. And at the end of this is where we're going to talk about for next week. We're going to end with what happens in the future.
All right, so what are we talking about now?
Right now, I just wanted to bring up this quick thing just to mention it, that the Fed decision in October, whether or not they would keep rates steady, increase it, or decrease it by 25 or 50 basis points, you can get a 6% odds on that, right? $1 gets you at 15. And since we know that these sorts of things happen in periods of weakness, I'm pretty gung-ho about this bet. Look for the liquidity, look for the opportunities, look for ways of making money off of things you can't control.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my money in AI, and this gambling betting thing, I don't know. It's not for me.
All right, so let's take a look at the trades from the week past. Now, again, I have not been calling out any of the trades. You guys have the levels from the indicators, which at the very end, you'll see how you can sign up to Sacred Profit finally and get access to these lovely, lovely indicators. But those of you who reached out to me before, you have access to these, and we've been taking a look at this. So last week starts over here. We had the run up on the 16th. You remember that on the 16th of June is when I said we should get a blast off in liquidity, in price. Now that did happen. That did happen. What I didn't realize, what I don't know, is that the United States and Israel were cooking up, just prepping World War III here. And so I did not know why the price was falling lower, but it did. Chances are the preparations were happening, clearly happened beforehand. Those in the know are certainly going to sell off of assets, risk assets. I don't judge them for it. That's just what happens. But just to point out that we did get a massive move up, or significant move up, on June 16th, just like I said. So you were saying I was wrong before, but
I should correct that. You even told me whatever you're putting into poly market, you should assume you're going to lose that. And if it doesn't hit, then we'll just roll over next month. So, I shouldn't be too... although I'm going to go and check out your Sacred Profit on X to see exactly what you called, just to make sure you're not, you're not fudging.
Hey, I'll put it up right here. Let's put it up right here.
I just want to make sure you're not fudging.
So it's right here on the chart. Okay, so we had our poly market bet. So this is what I was saying recently. I always give two sides, the high side and the low side. And so we did get the rise up to the 16th, but there was a potential for a drop. In fact, I was calling for a short off of this top higher level. We didn't get there. Wait, did we get there? We got all the way up to 109-ish. Oh yeah, we did get there, or almost there. So I was actually calling for a short at this level over here. We didn't get there. But remember, I was calling for a short on my X. Did you know that, Peter? Did you realize that?
No, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. Short-term short. Short-term short.
Has incurred a sentence of excommunication.
Hey, look, I'm walking it back. I'm walking it back. Look, this is what I've noticed with the traders. All right, with you, the degens out there, your feelings get all mixed up in it, and then you lose money or it doesn't go your way, and then you start pointing fingers and you're blaming everybody else. And now I'm realizing I should be blaming myself. I was hearing what I wanted to hear, but not hearing what you were saying. So, Tom, you were right. Sacred Profit, you were right.
What's interesting here is that if we move back to the tweet from May, I was saying that the $99,000 level was a level I would expect to reach. It was one of the levels on the charts to take a look at, which is over here, 99 over here. And I was sort of annoyed because we just kept moving up. We kept moving up, and week by week, I was telling you guys, I can't get in the trade. No, I didn't trade anything else after that. I kept expecting a pullback. That's what I kept tweeting out, expecting a pullback. And in fact, if you remember, over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying that the pullback to remember when we broke out of 74 over here? Let me just go over here. We broke out over here, and I said this level, this $80,000 level, was still in play. Remember this?
I do.
I kept saying I would be shorting towards this level, and the price kept moving up. But I could not get in any serious long because we didn't get a pullback. And the system says we need a pullback. We need a pullback. So right now, when we take a look at the past week, we can see here, if we take a look at our indicators, that here would have been the perfect thing. So on the week starts over here. We get the pullback on the first day of the week. This is the pattern we've been noticing, that on the first day of the week, we get a significant move, and you're supposed to fade that move right? You do the opposite of that move, and then that would be the actual trend. That's why I was calling for the short over here, that this would be the downward move to look forward to. So we have the week opened up. The weekly trade was actually to this level over here. This was the price to target. So the price moved up over there just as expected. It continued in a little bit further, didn't get to my perfect short area, but you could have shorted from over here. And then it fell. Where did it fall to? It fell to not only this trend level, but to this what's this one called? This one's called the that price is 105. The turning 3, right, turning 3. In fact, I believe I tweeted it out. Turning 3. I was like, okay, this is suspicious. I even put out the Neo jump. Okay, even put that out. Give me 1 second. I got to get the door. Can you take over this?
Yes, I'm going to take this over. Look, folks, 90. I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. It's 98.7. By the dip. We, from what I understand, we have a upward trend. Liquidity is moving up. What you might think about World War III, I don't think it's going to affect. I don't think Tom is saying it's going to affect the price of Bitcoin. Is this a good time to buy? Well, look, we're going to hear what Tom is saying at the end of this show, where he's going to talk to us about the upcoming week's trade. All right, so we're analyzing the previous week's trade. Then we're going to be talking about what's coming up next. So you definitely want to stay on for that, because we want to know where we can make this money. Where does the profit come in? Is that you announcing yourself? The return of the king? No,
yeah.
You don't do that while I'm speaking. All right.
So, like I was saying, I even put out the meme of Neo falling. I don't know how I could have made it any clearer.
And what is that supposed to mean?
That it's going to fall.
That Bitcoin's going to fall?
That Bitcoin is going to jump like it did and then fall down. And you'll be scared, but the bottom will catch you. And later on, you'll be the one.
Okay. How later on?
I have to make that GIF myself, okay? I have to make that GIF myself.
Did you really?
This is a hard job. This is a hard job being the voice of the Lord of Liquidity. So I've been talking about, for weeks now, price is going down lower. I've been talking about that. In fact, I've been privately with trading groups and stuff like that, I've been talking about 99,000 being the level that I was looking at to begin with.
We're at 98.7 right now. Where we heading down to? Okay, I don't want to talk about what's coming up next. I want to talk about what was before we talk about what will be.
Okay, so I've been calling that. So we got the... So over here, after we pulled back, we moved sideways along our trend, and we saw that our trend direction was red the whole time, right? Our trend levels behind were just bearish the whole time. So you would be shorting everything if you were to be doing any of this. And the perfect short would have been here, right at our monthly wave. This monthly wave over here, this short would have been absolutely perfect, and you would have caught this way down. Where did we fall down to? From that wave all the way down to trend level, which we've been looking at for weeks. It bounced up a little bit. It reversed again right on wave, and then it moved its way down. Here it bounced up. I just want to pay attention to this. When you take a look at these trades, sometimes you're like wondering you have to think of it like these two magnetic levels that are moving the price. So over here, you're seeing that we fall. So we crawled along the trend line and we fall, and it stops not at a particular level, but because the day was finishing. That's what this blue bar is. The day is finishing, and so the price moves up to the level for that day, right? So we get this move up to the level of that day, but since it's still red, we roll over from that red. Our indicators are working exactly as they should. We roll over, and where do we fall? We fall first to the daily level, a daily level that was missed way back when, and then we fall again now to the 99, right? So the next closest level levels below us, just the normal trend level, is over here at 97.2, with 96.7 being the closest daily level to it. All right, so this whole area over here is longable areas. Now we're getting to levels where we can actually take long trades. That's where we're getting to. But as far as this week ending tonight, I would not be surprised at all to see the price get down to 97.2. Would not be surprised. 97.2.
What's the lowest it can hit?
The lowest it can hit would be 91.8. No, sorry. The lowest it can hit is
79.
80,000. The lowest is over here, 80,000.
That's where I think it's going.
If it gets there, oh, guys, girls, folks, this is what we want. Have I made that clear? This is what we want. We don't want blue sky territory where the price just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and we don't know when it's going to top. We can tell how far down things can go and to what levels they'll go to. And when the price moves back up, we know what levels they'll go back up to. When we're in blue sky territory, we don't know anything. We don't see anything. We can't tell. Our tools are not designed for that. It just goes as long as liquidity goes, and Bitcoin even tops before liquidity tops. So we want this. This is where we're going to make our money. Now, if you're buying and holding, fine, buy and hold and buy on these dips. Nothing too complicated there. But if you're trading 50x leverage trades the way we're trading, we want this sort of price action. I wasn't surprised to see Bitcoin fall to exactly 99 today. I'm not surprised. Make money on that. Use these tools in order to make money on it. All right? So those are the setup for the week past.
Are you shorting right now?
No, I was shorting to 99, and then now I'm long. And I'm going to go long at 99. I'm going to go long at 92. I'm going to go long at 85. I'm going to go long at 80. Okay? Because the next stop is freaking 150 on Bitcoin. All right? Let's get into it. Let's get into next week.
All right. Let's talk about it.
All right. Before we do, Peter, can I just get like a little admission from you that you were totally wrong, and that I actually
cut that sound. Cut that sound. Cut it. What are you doing?
It's fine enough. It was good enough. It didn't give us a copyright strike last time. It's not going to give us a copyright strike this time. And actually, that's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. All right, Peter, can you just tell me that you're totally wrong? We should bury you 6 feet under, because I actually telegraphed pretty clearly my bearish sentiment in the short term and the levels at which the price would get to, which is exactly what happened.
It takes a big man to admit when he was wrong. It takes an even bigger man to just dip.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
You're right, Tom. Look, now that I think about it and look back.
Oh, don't worship me, oh no, no. Lift up the stream that parts the sea. I'm just about.
So I say, don't worship me. I'm reading the charts just like the rest of you guys. I just also have the benefit of the Lord of Liquidity whisper in my ear, but sometimes I get tested as well. Sometimes my faith gets tested as well. Not in this situation, because I was actually totally right where the prices could go, and that's exactly what happened. And when it comes to volatility shocks, right, the demon of drawdowns, I've told you guys, there's no way to predict that. These are exogenous shocks that happen, and you just have to be ready, right? That's why you don't bet the farm.
I didn't bet the farm.
What you can lose.
A few $100. And you're saying that next month I should roll over and keep that bet going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. In fact, you'll get the better odds now.
What's a better bet? The 150 in July? Well, it's not going to be July. You said September, October.
No. The bet you're talking about, the poly market bet.
Yeah.
Right now, you can only do till June. They don't have the July one out yet.
So-
I've actually added to my June one, basically for the next 7 days.
Go ahead.
I
Wow.
added to it to be at to make money on the 115,
Oh.
120, 150, because when a volatility shock like this happens, it's not uncommon for full-on sudden reversal. Where the price just bounces off this level and V's up. In fact, the further and faster that the price falls, the more likely that it'll bounce sharply. If you just take a quick look at the chart again, you'll notice over
is it
here.
falling fast right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's falling pretty fast.
Would you use the word cratering?
No. But these are
Maybe
the ones
say-
I'm going to show you too.
Maybe just say
Aren't
the word
cratering either.
Say the word cratering. Bitcoin is cratering. Just say it.
Bitcoin's nosediving, cratering into an apocalyptic, Younger Dryas type level of catastrophe.
Clip it. We got it for the short. It's good.
When you get drops like this, you can get significant bounces back up. We saw that at the $74,000 level over here. Remember? We had a huge drop. Phone was ringing off the hook. Phone was ringing off the hook. Sorry. Phone was ringing off the hook. Let me do it millennial style. And yeah, I was doing this for phone. I did this to my my 2-year-old, and he's like, what is that? I go,
Have you tried
like
time? That doesn't work either.
What is this? What's that? So the price here falls when it fell to the 74 level and then skyrocketed up. You always actually need that pullback beforehand before it does it. We get the
but it took a
pullback.
while to V up. It took how long does it take to V up? It takes months to V up.
Yeah, but you don't know what can happen in that vein. You know, some sort of news, some sort of emergency thing. Look, a nuclear bomb could go off and Bitcoin can end up at 250,000. I'm not going to miss that trade.
Oh my god. Oh,
You underestimate my power.
Trade.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it this month. I'm going to take it next month. I'm going to take it the month after that. I'm going to take it all the way up to 150,000. And the best part of it is that the lower the price goes, suddenly the cheaper the bet is, which I find just to be amazing. So you can get the even more. Well, it's not really leverage, but you're getting this upside that I don't have to reflect within 50x leverage trading. Right? Those I have the 50x leverage trading. I have to focus on getting at the right price at the right levels and playing it properly. On the poly market bet, I'm just YOLOing into it. So I basically have exposure to a black swan event to the upside.
I hear you.
like that.
I hear you.
I like that.
Is that called hedging?
No. Hedging is a technical process where you're mitigating your risk. Here, I've actually increased my risk by exposing myself even more to the markets, but my risk is defined, and I don't mind losing that amount. In fact, I assume the amount is lost.
Sounds like your strategy is FOMO YOLO.
It's YOLO. It's YOLOing. Fine by me. 2 months ago when I did 4x on the trade, didn't have any complaints. And that paid for this trade, so fine by me. All right.
Yeah.
Week coming up. We have. All right. So here's the interesting part. Remember I talked about 4 periods of the year of weakness. And I also talk about, that doesn't come from me. Ken Carson is one who's educated the populace on this idea. But the 2 main ones are September, October, and March, February, March, April, August, September, October.
You said too many months there.
September and March. Right? These are 2 periods of the year where you have, if there's gonna be liquidity weakness, and if there's gonna be a volatility shock, that's where they can happen. That's where they often happen. Stock market crashes usually happen in September-ish or March-ish. But the 2 other periods, December and June, even though they're less likely, they can still happen. The reason they're less likely is that people are on vacation or with family and they're not trading as much. So the number of trading days that are available there are less. So the period of time in which something could happen is lessened. If something does happen, they're not necessarily sitting at their computer waiting to sell off. However, we're getting this drop off in June, right? Option expiry. When is option expiry for June? June here is CPI is on the 12th. 18th is the VIX expiration, monthly expiration. Okay, so quarter expiration. The 30th of this month. By the 30th of this month is when the quarterly expiration for this period of window of weakness basically starts to alleviate. Now, do I think it's as likely today as it was last week that the price bounces hard from over here to 150? No, I don't think it's as likely. And the odds are reflecting that. But I still like a bet like that because I get to put less money in to double my position. Then if something does happen, a flip switches and Bitcoin V's, we all look back and go, oh my God, I didn't know that could happen. And I'm sitting there pretty happy that I'm exposed to the bet. So to me, it's like, it covers my FOMO. I'm exposed to the upside if something sudden happens. I put my position on and I just leave it. And the next month, when the new trade opens up for Polymarket, I'll enter there as well. But my conviction that we're headed towards 150 or higher has not wavered at all. In fact, it's strengthened. So right now, if we take a look at our liquidity projection again, we have liquidity rising up until September 2025, right? So these drops within a bullish liquidity will get absorbed. The likelihood is to get very much absorbed and then move forward. And in fact, as we clear these levels, let's say right now that we cleared the 99 level that was missing, we're now on a step that we can actually make a move forward. It makes it more likely that we can. If the price falls again to 92, it's an even firmer step. You'll notice that around this 92 level, we're also right at the this is the seasonal wave over here. This cross over here, it's even stronger position there. And if we get down to over here, I mean, it'll be a wick. It'll be a wick, just enough to liquidate the faithless and to scare the bulls. So this all to me is great news. We want to pull back to move forward. It's much healthier. Can you imagine if that didn't happen? We didn't pull out to any of these levels and we just skyrocketed to 150. Can you imagine how weak that would be?
Why would that be weak?
Crazy. Because you're not the price would be moving not because of steady accumulation and levered longs. It'd be moving because of complete price dislocation. So, for example, if you take a look at our liquidation chart, you'll notice that right now, if we take a look just at the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map for Binance, OKX, and Bybit, we are nearly 16 billion short versus 100 million long. All right, we were at 500 million long just last week. 100 million long. So there's like almost no longs in here. So if there's no conviction on the long side and the shorts do get liquidated because the price is moving up, well, once those shorts get liquidated, and which is to say there are forced buyers at the top, who's stepping in then to support the price?
It'll come crashing down.
It can come crashing down because you need the bulls to be like, you need the buyers. You need the levered long buyers, right? In the same way that the price falls dramatically because of the shorts shorting it, you need the longs to come in with leverage, which is why I opened up this episode today with, it's the non-believers that help drive this price down. There are no levered longs here, no significant levered longs. And so why would the price be supported? So I don't know what needs to happen. You guys need to put on your big boy britches, your big girl britches, and start pressing that button. You whale. We need significant things. We need the monetary policy to switch in that direction. Come on, pal. Come on, JP. Let's go. Quantitative tightening. Say that it's out the gate. Let everyone know that you've been doing quantitative easing and loosening in the plumbing of the financial system in the back end, so people can really like get on board. let's call it for what it is. We need the markets go up and to the right. So get on it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So we need the lever longs. But one thing's for sure, liquidity is offset by 78 days, which means we had the strong bullish trend in liquidity. The shock that we had, the potential beginning of World War III, right now has only dropped the price from peak to low here 10%. I mean, don't even wake me for 10% move on Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? Even if we fall all the way down over here to our yearly level, which is 30%, that would be perfect. That's a perfect, oh my God, that'd be beautiful. We want Bitcoin to pull back 30%. If that happens, go all in. And by all in, I mean full levered position, not all of your portfolio.
And
let's just make that clear.
Not financial advice. Do your own research. You'll lose all your money.
That's right. Or else, it's nice knowing you. That'd be perfect. Okay, so the last thing I want to say here is that we are, let's go back to the chart. We're actually moving in for this week. When this week ends, so we had this bar over here, this long bar is the end of the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and the quarterly. That's a whole quarterly expiration thing, period. And so it's all happening at once. And so once that clears out, unless something else prolonged, protracted happens, a nuclear bomb happens, I can't predict what happens there, although probably Bitcoin goes up. What happens is that the downside then gets mitigated. Like whatever downside happened, and then now we're just back up to the upside, right? So we're at the beginning of World War III, and all we got was this lousy t-shirt. No, I'm sorry. All we got is a 10% drawdown, 10, 12% drawdown. It's not significant. So it's super bullish. It means the flows are there. The price is supportive, and we can get this outsized move to the upside. So 150, if it doesn't happen this month, spin up the thumbnail and let's make it for July, because it's going to happen pretty soon. Pretty soon.
All right. So upcoming trade is what exactly?
Right now, 99 level. Right now, I think this is a good place to open up a levered long position. I think this is a good price. Wait to see what happens around 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight, as usual. I think now is a good price. We cleared a major level. 99 was a major level. The next major level underneath that is below our trend line. It becomes less likely. So I'd say long. If I'm wrong and the price still goes down further, then go long at 92. And if I'm wrong, even then, well, I'm not. The price is not going to go much lower than 92. Put that on the t-shirt.
All right. And go long with the expectation that it will hit where?
Well, now I was saying 150 because I thought if we were gonna blast off at all, it would be from that $100,000 level, 104, because we hadn't pulled back into any of our levels yet. So I was actually being very conservative with 150,000. Now I think we could go way past that because we've had this healthy pullback. Once those 15 billion shorts plus whatever on the different platforms get liquidated up. The last time we had that level of liquidation, we went from 74 to 100,000. Went from 74 to 100,000. So, and that's from the 74 lows. The level of liquidity that we're at right now is even higher. In fact, you guys should actually go take a look at Raul had a video. Yeah, this is a great one. Banana Zone data secrets revealed by Jamie Coots. Great analysis that showed that when liquidity breaks out to new all-time highs, the liquidity levels, that's the yellow level over here. So this break that we're about to happen, when this break happens, the level of move, the Bitcoin moves even more significantly versus liquidity by like an order of like 5x more than it normally would. So if we had a move up of 25%, what was it exactly? It was 50% from the lows at 74 up to 104. It's possible to have up to 5x that on the next move. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think the price is going to hit this week?
I don't go with what I think it will hit. I go with what's a fun bet. What's a good bet?
By fun, you mean
This is the
profitable?
first time I've talked about levered long or levered long strategy that we've been talking about for months. This is the first time in a month I'm telling you now is when I would get in. 99. Where I think the price can hit. Again, this week the level, do we have any level above us? No, we don't have any levels right now. Actually, that's not true. The level that's developing for the week right now is 104.3, basically around 104, right? And so the likelihood that the price bounces up to that level, which would be a move of 5%, very high likelihood. And so you can double your money, double your position just by this move here. I do think, though, that this would be whatever lows we're going to have right now is the last lows, and then we're going to blast off from there. So I would hold on to that trade and just start accumulating a long position now upwards. You get liquidated, buy again. Get liquidated, buy again.
I get it.
All right, folks, I'm going to be leaving you with one last thing. We are in beta mode for Secret Profit. .com.
Yay!
You guys can head over to sacredprofit.com and sign up for the beta version of our service. Now we're working out the kinks, working out all the kinks, all kinds of kinks in this sort of thing. But for a free product, I mean, I think that's pretty fair. What happens is that you can log into the back end.
Wait. Before you do that, what's the pitch?
Yes.
What's the pitch? So, built by traders for traders is Sacred Profit. What do we got here? Join the movement, making world-class trading tools free for every retail trader. Real signals, real results, no fluff, no fees. Tell me, what is this, Tom?
My favorite thing about Sacred Profit, and the reason why I wanted to start this platform, is that I want people to have a wide set of tools, indicators and tools to help them trade. But unlike other services that usually focus on very specific types of trading strategies, assets, or timeframes, I want to have the biggest library of indicators ever. I want you to be able to go into this service and pick out for any asset. You trade in Forex, you trade in Bitcoin, you trade in equities, options on currency futures, bonds. I want you to be able to go in and find at least a couple of indicators that'll help you along with that process. I also want you to be able to see access indicators and even some circumstances strategies from people who have promoted certain ideas for you to be able to see if they're profitable or not. And I want you to have it all for $0.
So what do you get now? I want to do this. What do you get now?
What you get now is that you can sign up. Once you sign up, using our affiliate link for our partner exchange, in this case right now, BitGet and Blowfin, you sign up as an affiliate. You then go through the back end and choose what indicators you'd like to add to your chart. And right now you have my anchors indicator set. Those are the levels you've been seeing on the chart. All the indicators that you're seeing here, you get access to. And you also get access to a signals dashboard where I get to, you're going to start getting signals of, hey, when I'm seeing particular types of changes, when I'm seeing particular types of perfect setups. Not everything. So you can't automate your life off of this. And these are just trend signals, they're not trade signals. But you'll be able to access them on Telegram and inside of the dashboard in your email in order to get tapped on the shoulder. Hey, this might be a good setup for you to be on.
How many indicators are there? right now at launch?
Right now, there are 35 indicators, but we're constantly creating more, and it's going to grow by leaps and bounds. I want your feedback, right? Not just in how to use the system, but I want your feedback as to, hey, what new features you would like to have in these indicators, what new indicators you'd like me to add to the set. People have started sending me YouTube videos of indicators and strategies and setups and ideas, and like, hey, can you make an indicator out of this? And then I do. I make the indicator out of it, toss it into the library. You get an email to let you know that's available. You can click on it, add it to your thing, and start trading with it. And as you do, and you have feedback, you're like, hey, if I had this, it'd make my life easier. If I had this, I'd be able to filter out some false positives. Can you make this? Can you make this? Can you make this? I want us to work together in such a way that I get to make the tools and indicators and provide you services that you want, all at the low cost of $0 for as long as I can do it.
So if I understand correctly, when it says build by traders for traders, what you're talking about is as people are using the indicator set and asking for improvements, everybody who signed up to this gets those improvements.
Correct.
Ah.
So 3 people decide, hey, this extra option would be great to have an indicator. I make that change, put an indicator, and now everyone gets it. I want everyone to have the benefit of everyone else's suggestions. And I want it to be like transparent. A previous version of this was that you were siloed. You had to pay all this money in order to get, you had an exclusive group and only you got the benefit of it. And I didn't like that because it made people sort of compete. They didn't want other people in the group to also have the signal. And they felt sort of like, well, I'm paying for this and how come someone else gets the thing that I suggested for nothing? I didn't like any of that. I wanted it to be democratic. The Lord of Liquidity says that this needs to be available to everybody in order to help everyone who has the heart to feel and the ears to listen to move into the land of gains, of plenty.
Eyes
That's
to
the only
see.
way we to survive the fourth turning, folks, together.
Eyes to see and ears to hear. Okay, I have a question.
That's the Bible. I was quoting from the Sacred Prophet text.
Oh,
The
I
Gospel,
see.
the
Okay.
Gospel of Tom. Yeah.
All right. So you want people to get all this stuff. You want us all to benefit together. You want to create. Look, Tom wants us all to be high value traders together. What's a high value trader? That's somebody who's not trading the market based on their feelings, but based on data, excellent indicator sets, premium indicators, and more. So Tom, I have a question. I was watching you on Traders Post. I think we did a walkthrough. You were kind of showing me indicators on TradingView. We go into TradingView and there's indicators. Some indicators are available for free. Other indicators are locked. And if I remember correctly, there was some kind of conversation as to the quality of the indicators. Now, my question for you is, when I hear free indicators, I think low quality. What is the quality level of these indicators?
So it depends. Some of the concepts that have been asked to turn into indicators, the concepts are flawed, but I make them so that you can see it. And so I don't spend a lot of time on those indicators because it's just to prove to you that, hey, this setup doesn't really work as often as that crazy YouTube video says that it will. For my indicator sets, the ones that I put out, the bundles, these specific bundles, I put a lot of time and effort into them.
So this is cycles, anchors,
Holy,
waves.
Tome, Perfect. These are all different bundles that, for some of them, I've spent a few years developing, refine and make better, and all that sort of thing, and develop a concept of how to trade off of them. These are some of the higher level quality indicators that I've seen. Now, I'm not trying to say that there aren't any indicators that are better done. When there are services out there that focus on, hey, these are our 7 indicators and this is all we're focused on, they could pour hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars making those indicators as polished as possible. We'll get there. But to me, it's far more important that I get it out the door, get it in your hands, you start trading with it, and when you see value from it and you feed back information to me, I could then make them better. Because if I'm going to have a library here of thousands of indicators for you to access, you can't expect me to spend hundreds of hours per indicator. So it'll be your feedback lets me know what I should direct my attention to. Now, specifically my indicator sets, the ones that I use in order to trade, those are my babies. I'm going to spend a lot of time on them. I'm going to make them as good as possible. And those are just the indicators. We are going to be having tools, information in the dashboard, so you can get sort of like a weather report of what's going on in the markets and news, so you don't have to like know everything. And also additional tools that are outside of TradingView, just tools in and of themselves in order to be able to scan sentiments in markets, find coins that you want to trade, and have integrations with different types of platforms. So we're going to be growing this. That's why we're in beta. We're growing. And just so you know that I'm not really doing, it's costing you nothing. But the reason I have you sign up as an affiliate on a crypto exchange is that I want the crypto exchange to pay me, right? You're already on the crypto exchange paying these fees. So I'm just saying, send some of those fees my way. It helps to pay me and helps me focus on making the tools as best as they can be for you. But at the end of the day, you don't have to spend $1 extra more than you would already.
I imagine there's going to be a video walkthrough showing us the dashboard and how that works. But for now, could you just point out what the indicators look like a little bit on your chart? And I'm trying to think, like in this past week or two, like to show their benefit. What would it have told you in this past week or two?
Sure. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here, and let's put on, let's go to a different Bitcoin chart. All right, so let's say we're on this chart and you were to use a trend. So on this Bitcoin chart, when we have trend here, you'd be able to surface right away what's the trend direction, what are the trend expectations for this chart. So you're seeing here.
Can you show a replay in real time so we can see like what was there at the time? Is that
absolutely
helpful?
So over here, once you start seeing the red, you know, hey, there could be some danger. Either we're going to move sideways or we're going to move down. So you wouldn't take long trades there. Here, we moved up to green. And so now we know we're going to be bullish. Here it's red. We're looking for shorts or sideways. And here, it actually fulfilled on the way down. Oftentimes, what I'll find on the trend one is that when you have a very thin, over here, this very thin level, that usually signifies an end to whatever trend we're in right now. So these thin areas are pretty fun. So this is one of my favorite indicators because I hate trend indicators. I find them to be always late, and oftentimes they don't tell me like what price level I should be looking at. Like I get this as a trend, but where will the price move along this trend? And so here anchors, not only is it giving me green, yellow, and red as far as direction and conviction of the trade, but it's letting me know where I should be taking longs and shorts. So for example, over here in this green trend, it says get in at this level over here. This level, perfect bounce. Over here, another bounce. These are great levels in order to get in for the long. Whereas over here for shorting, it said, hey, short over here, right? Or short over here. It gives me better areas of where I should get in and get out. Is it perfect? No, but I find them, I really like how useful they are. Over here, levels for where to bounce long. And last one, like over here, great example of shorting within within a downtrend. I love also Wave. Wave is one of my favorite ones. It allows me to know what is the one time I have to do a deep dive on this indicator. This indicator is like my favorite one. There's all kinds of different moving average envelopes that you can have out there. There's the Williams alligator. You can have the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD. You can do, people use different kinds of EMAs on the chart for crossovers, and all that is pretty interesting. But I like when moving averages are volume based and follow a particular type of formula that I use in order to detect. Like I hate missing levels. I hate when I'm trading and I go, I have a failed trade, and then when I look back and go, had I had this moving average there at this number, I would have seen the price bounce. I would have recognized that as a level, as opposed to just having the 200-day moving average or the 50-day moving average on my chart. And I find this works great for that. So you're seeing here at a high level, I'm getting these high level trends for how this price is moving. But then if I were to go into a 5-minute chart, let's see here. I haven't seen this one, so we'll see what it looks like. Let's just go to now. You see here how the weekly we're oscillating around this yellow. So lets me know this is a trend. This level is a trend I could follow because the trend is respecting that. Whereas this longer term one, you see this orange one in the background?
Yeah.
It's giving me the long-term direction for the trend. So it's telling me, hey, this is long-term on my 5-minute. It's long-term directionally bearish. And what I want to be doing is shorting from these yellow levels, which would have been here, here, and here in order to move with the trend. I love stuff like this. Super, super useful. And then when I move out to like a different level here, let's say I'm on the 15-minute, the waves adapt to the new level here. So here it's telling me, hey, this is the long-term trend to take a look at. This is why I bounce here, here, here. Oftentimes I wonder, where am I going to bounce? Where am I going to bounce? Like it's telling me where it's going to bounce. And then it's telling me that over here, when it broke down below this is the monthly, it broke down below the monthly, it peaked out above the monthly again, but then crossed down below so that the next time it got at the monthly was a perfect short, which would have brought you down to over here. So it gives me a sense of what this price, of what the price is doing. I just love the wave indicator. It's fantastic. And then the final one to show is the, not there, it's the levels. And levels over here, let's just make it less complicated. We'll just do the daily levels. Actually, let me just show you the daily ones. So these are the daily levels of where the daily levels call the price to it, right? So this level was calling the price up towards it, just like this level call the price up towards it. Over here, we're seeing here the level, it's shorted from over here, shorted from over here. And here we actually gave up the ghost right underneath it. So the likelihood is that the price is going to move back up to 101.2. So I find these indicators to be super useful. Let me just switch this to the weekly for what we've been talking about so far. You'll get an idea here. So this is a weekly. And look at this, like the price moved exactly to where we would expect it to go. This price moved exactly up to the weekly level. This price moved up exactly to this weekly level. And it happens again and again and again and again and again. And I just absolutely love it. So this is just a short overview of some of the indicators that are in there. And there's 35 and it's growing still. If you guys like to know like my sort of style of how I go about doing things, if you go to Traders Post, the Traders Post YouTube channel, you'll see that every Thursday on the Blueprint playlist, the Blueprint series, I go ahead and sometimes you'll see me reverse engineer scripts or make ones from YouTube videos and stuff like that. And that's what I'll just put out just normally on a Thursday. There's all kinds of things I actually spend far more time on in order to develop out. You'll some people will see indicators within the library that come from like non-speaking areas. So it'll be maybe a concept or an idea, whatever that's popular in Germany, in Asia or whatever, and it'd be like, hey, what's this new idea? Well, it was translated from Germany, and that's why you're seeing it in there. Anyways, just interesting stuff. I love it. It's fun. It's my life. And I figured, hey, might as well make money off of it so that I can be here for you. Plus, the Lord of Liquidity says that's what I need to do as sacred profit.
Well, sacred profit, very much appreciate it. I know it makes the charts a lot easier for me to understand. Look, can you have too many indicators? I don't know. But do I want to be signed up to the thing that gives me unending, infinite premium indicators? Absolutely. And at zero cost.
I volunteer as tribute.
right, Peter?
I definitely volunteer for
Right.
that. Fantastic. So like and subscribe to the channel. We will be doing more walkthroughs, showing you more of the indicators, detailing how you would use it, the mindset behind it, also how the dashboard works. But it's available for you right now. So you can go over to sacredprofit.com and sign up today. You can always reach out. When you sign up, you'll have access to Tom. You'll be able to get support, any questions that you have, right? I'm not speaking out of school.
That's right.
Tom will be able to help you with that. So definitely go ahead and do that. Don't miss out. I mean, it's not costing you anything. You can go ahead and do that. Follow Tom on Sacred Profit on X, and that way he'll be calling out the levels. We talk about all kinds of things on the show here, but the levels that he has convictions on, the calls that he's making, that he's putting his foot behind, that you'll find on X. Wonderful
No,
things.
you'll see that on the Signals dashboard now. I was only posting it on X for a little while, just for funsies. You got to sign up in order to get that stuff.
Okay, all right. So the teasers have been done, but if you want to get those, if you want to know what's the call,
I'll talk about the trades after they're done, after they're successful or failed, whatever. I'll mention them there. But yeah, you want to sign up.
Sounds like the Sacred Profit dashboard.
You have to create an affiliate account, sign up as an affiliate. I think that's totally fair. You're trading anyway. You already have an account at these places. Create a second one. Perfectly fine. And let's do this together.
SacredProfit.com, your place for premium indicators, optimized tools, 50x leverage, baby. Get it done. Plus your connection to the Lord of Liquidity. We all need that.
That's right. That's it for us for today. Just remember, don't worry. I know it can be amazing.
I'm Tom Hartman, and I built this signal group because I know what it's like to trade in the dark. Second guessing every move, chasing unreliable calls, getting burned by noise. I wanted something better, so I created it. What I offer here are advanced signals backed by premium indicators I've crafted from years of hands-on experience. These aren't cookie-cutter tools. They're grounded in multi-time frame logic, tuned for cross-asset trading and built to handle real-world conditions, not just backtests. But here's where it gets serious. The system is designed to handle up to 50x leverage. Yeah, 50x. That's not common, and honestly, it's not for everyone. But if you know what you're doing, it gives you power most traders only dream of. It's predictive, reliable, and completely free. No catch, no upsell. I'm not here to sell hype. I'm here to give serious traders something they can actually use. This is the system I wish I had starting out. Now it's yours.